Now I invite Mr. Nitin Moge to take us into the next segment of a panel discussion. And Mr. Nitin is the growth catalyst at Whizible, and he would then introduce the topic of the panel discussion and the panelists. Welcome, Nitin.
Thank you very much. Welcome to this panel discussion. This panel discussion is going to be around demystifying orbit shift. And what we are going to understand are the perspectives from the leaders of Whizible customer community. My name is Nitin, and I am so happy to be facilitator for this discussion. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome the panel members, Mr. Prashant Brahmankar, who is the COO and board member operations at Expleo Solutions, sir. Manjiri Shinde, VP Global HR Recruiting and Operations, Cloudmoyo. And most probably will be joined on a Zoom meeting by Ashwini Danigon, founder and executive director, one of my Infosys. We consultants have a very bad habit, right? We have to have a say in everything that we talk about. So I want to add my 1 cent before I hand it over to the panelist. What is orbit shift? I mean, most of us first, what is orbit shift? These are the rapid and large transformations that happen in a short period of time, 3 to 4 years, which are significantly higher than the transformations that have happened for last 15 and 20 years. That means there has to be a catalyst for that, and that's very important. And for me personally, I feel that there are 3 major boosters for these orbit shifts. One, that is led by innovation. So the important word is led, that is led by innovation. Second one, that is forced by VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And most importantly, if this orbit shift is not aligned to the vision and goal, and now I want to add values of the organization, that's not going to be complete. So these are the 3 critical boosters for any orbit shift organization is looking at. I think Whizible and this audience is very lucky today, because the members on this panel who are going to give their views on demystifying orbit shift have successfully maneuvered their organizations to shift the orbit at appropriate times for them to reap the desired results. We at Whizible call ourselves the agent of this orbit shift. And why do we call that is because we provide one single integrated governance platform that becomes the nucleus of the orbit shift. If you want to go back to the chemistries and the physics, whenever we are talking about orbit shift, there's always a nucleus associated. And we think the Whizible governance platform is going to be that nucleus. For us at Whizible, this panel discussion is the voice of customer for us, and will provide exciting insights that I'm sure in coming days will see an orbit shift in Whizible itself. With this, may I request Mr. Prashant Brahmankar to come here, please. Manjiri, may I request you to come here, please. So our first panelist, Prashant Brahmankar, is the whole-time director and chief operating officer at Expleo Solutions Limited. Academically, he is mechanical engineer and also attended executive management programs from reputed academic institutes like IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, University of Cologne Business. Prashant has demonstrated history of working on automotive manufacturing, software product development, and information technology and services industry. His technical expertise and business acumen allow him to comprehend client needs, create solutions, develop capabilities, and execute strategic plans that drive growth. In his current role, he is focusing on delivery and operation for digital services, software quality, and engineering services. Most importantly, Prashant is an avid trekker and enjoys cooking. Trekking is his stress buster, and he has completed 11 treks on the Indian side of Himalayas. So Prashant, welcome to this. Prashant, you have been instrumental in many orbit shifts, right? If we look at the present itself, there are so many things that are happening in Expleo, right? Mergers, unified governance platforms, and are aimed to increase the workforce by twice. So I think I'm very sure, and you will also agree that the next orbit shift is very close to Expleo, right? I want to understand from you, Prashant, How have you approached these orbit shifts in your professional life? Question number one. What have been the crucial elements for the success and what are the pitfalls to watch for? And most importantly, what role a governance platform will play in this social orbit? So, to you, Prashant.
Of course, governance platform. I'll come there. So, when Nitin first told me about this orbit shape, I thought it's a very heavy word. There are a lot of things, like which we do, which are part of your day-to-day business, or you happen to do them once in a while, once in a couple of years. For example, if you are working in IT companies, mergers, acquisitions, we are implementing the new strategy, we are starting new business line. There are a lot of things we keep doing. And now, like after I talked to you or you wrote me, I thought, yeah, some of them can be called orbit shifts, definitely. What are the challenges you generally face when you merge? For example, if I look at last 5-year journey with this company, we got acquired, merged, two completely different entities came together. One was in more into digital technology services, other was into engineering services. Somewhere sitting in the boardroom thought that there could be a synergy. And it took us a couple of years to realize that they were right. But there were a lot of things we have to do before we thought that we could achieve those values. Then the second thing, like in India, we had three entities as part of the Expleo. They kept acquiring companies, but they forgot to merge them. And then our new CEO came around 2 years back, and first time he came to India, he looked at us and he said, 3 entities. What's wrong with you guys? Okay. Then we explained him we had our own challenges. One of those entities was listed on the Indian Stock Exchange, and 2 were group subsidiaries. So the earlier CEOs and CFOs thought that it's very easy to manage 100% subsidiaries. They can do anything pretty much what they want. They can't do that with a listed entity, so they kept it away. But this new guy was a little more dynamic, believes in orbit shifts, apparently. And he decided to merge them, and it threw a completely new challenge on us. And while we were going through this, though a lot of companies and businesses are facing challenges these days, we are still growing. We're still adding new colleagues, we are hiring, we are introducing new services. We are launching our services in new geographies, and which is putting a lot of pressure on us to be a very efficient operation. And we have set a very ambitious target for us today. Today we are between 4,500 and 5,000 people organization in India. Globally we are around 18,000 people. So we kept the ambitious target that in next 3 years we would like to double the Indian operation. We would like to add another 5,000 colleagues and grow this to 10,000 people organization. But it's very easier said than done. And that's where, like when we merged all these companies and even at the global level, the big merger happened, we realized that the governance platform, everyone was following something. It's not that, like they didn't have anything. Some people were using some fancy, very large solutions, something like that starts with S and ends with P. Or some companies were using homegrown solutions. And when we merged together, we realized that, man, there is a big problem. It's very inefficient to manage multiple solutions. Then we said that, okay, just toss a coin and say that this is going to be your solution. We have tried that didn't work out. And then we happened to talk to Vishwas. We got his reference from some place, and we invited Vishwas and we looked at Whizible platform, because our biggest challenge was making sure that the projects are efficiently managed. We being a services organization, our assets are our resources. We manage the resources in a very efficient way. We make sure that we invest in the right place and at the same time being profitable. We looked at many platforms, and when Vishwas came and gave us first presentation, in the first presentation itself we realized that this platform looks very promising. But there were a lot of people who came and talked to us, and every time we felt that their platform is promising. So we told Vishwas that, hey, we already have 3 platforms running in our network. A lot of people gave us presentation and told us that their product is the right one. So we'd like to run a POC. Why don't you prove that your product is the right one? And a lot of people, they ask money for POCs. They say that, no, that's not what we do. You trust in our references. But Vishwas didn't take even a minute to agree on the POC. He said, we trust in our platform, so we don't mind doing a POC. It took us 6 months to take a decision because being a large global company, a listed company on Indian Stock Exchange, we have to involve independent directors, we have to take approval from our big board. So Vishwas, we are really sorry. Where is Vishwas? We are really sorry. It took us more than 6 months, but finally we decided that this is the right platform. It's going to help us solve our problems and importantly, manage those orbit shoots. So hopefully, I answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, and we wish to welcome Expleo to the Whizible community. Thanks a lot for giving us the chance, and we look forward to working very closely, and as Vishwas rightly said, learning a lot from you people because that's where our strength lies. Next on our panel is Manjiri Shinde. Manjiri heads people functions and operations at Cloudmoyo globally. Manjari earned her Bachelor of Commerce and Masters of Computer Management from Savitribai Phule Pune University, later earning an MBA in Finance from MIT ADT University. She has 20 plus years of experience in various human resources roles, in various technology companies, managing and overall operations, including sales operations and legal compliance for IT organizations. Her current role of VP Global HR allowed Manjiri to be a lead advisor for organization effectiveness in areas of talent development and management strategies. Always ready to try new things, Manjiri is learning Odissi dance form, but her more conventional hobbies are reading and gardening. Manjiri, what we are interested in is taking this slightly higher at an organization level. When it comes to balancing skill to dollar conversion at organizational level, with overall resource retention and readiness, and with the new MAP mastery, autonomy and purpose being the glue that people are looking for resource retention and all, I want to understand what it takes to achieve this shift.
Firstly, Vishwas, 6 months is what he talked about. Vishwas and I have been talking for almost a year. And I'm
feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. But thanks for inviting me again, Vishwas, and thanks for chasing us to go ahead with this platform. But the intent was always to make sure that we do digitize and we do have our governance platform in place. But as Monish said, that there were a pandemic hit and there were so many changes that were happening that we didn't have the budget and we had to park that project. To answer your question, and just to give you a bit of a background, I joined Cloudmoyo almost 2.5 years back, right in middle of the pandemic.
Oh.
Okay, and I'm glad and very proud to say that I'm working in a company which is again co-founded by Monish. So the values of Forte is extremely close to our heart, and I can, and the reason why I'm talking about values to begin with, for the question that you just raised, is that for any organization to succeed, I think for the organizations there are 3 important things. One is obviously the value and the culture that you imbibe in your employees, and how do you make sure that you sort of live them every day. So a lot of times employees, like when you do the value exercise, and in my past career also I worked in a company called Calsoft. I was fortunate enough to work in a company called Calsoft, which again is very close to my heart. I spent 15 years there, and I was a part of the exercise that we had on ethics and values. And for any company to begin this journey, the questions that employees or the managers will have is, okay, so we have these values, but what next?
Correct.
How do we imbibe that, or how do you live by those values day in and day out? While we can have those on our presentations, we keep talking about it, I think it is extremely important for us and each and every employee and manager to ensure that we imbibe them in a way that even if when you are having a conversation, not internally just in the organization, but with your vendors, partners, stakeholders, you keep in mind that these are the core values that you live by. And the moment you see that somebody is crossing the line or not living by those values, we actually say, hey, this is not forte, you know. So, or then if there's something that is missing in, and there are hard conversations, obviously. Just because we have these values doesn't mean that you should be okay with mediocrity. That's not the point. And you do not give candid feedback. That's not the point. But when you're giving the feedback, you need to be extremely respectful. So that's the E part of it, or R part of it on forte. So you say that, okay, this is the extremely candid discussion that I want to have about the performance, and this is a forte conversation. That's how you start it. So you are not personally, doing any harm to the employee, but you are having a very, very objective conversation. So the value system and the culture that you bring in, I think that's a glue that will hold the company together and help you to bring about enduring organization over the years. And that's something that is extremely close to our heart, and I can completely feel that when I'm talking also right now. The other thing is, in the face of adversity, how do you live by those values? So, like I said, I joined during the pandemic. So what had happened was that was a time when the second wave was really, really bad. But then the way we actually so our founders gave us this. Our founders gave us this guiding principle of 4 rings of responsibility, which again acted as a guiding principle for all the leaders across the board and all the employees also. Which says that take care of yourself. Take care of your family, community, and the business in that order. Yeah. So this again was, it hit us very, it just, every single thing that we did in the organization, right from policies to processes to any decision making that needed to be done during that time, this was the guiding principle for us. And we could make decisions, quick decisions, by these principles, guiding principles. It actually helped us. So the point that I'm making here is when you are actually doing the orbit shift, your core values and the culture that you build on, that's your baseline. You have to have that. Without that, you will not be able to process further. The second important thing is when you have this, now the challenge is that when you are growing, how do you make sure that you continue to hone the abilities and skills of your employees? So you make sure that you give them platforms, again, digital platforms, which will help them to hone their own skills, self-improvement, learn on their own, while giving them systems and tools to enhance their skills. Maybe upskill them, cross-skills them, because we are in technology industry, so every time there's something or the other which keeps coming up. So, how do you ensure that you make sure that their skills are updated? So that's an important piece which we need to continue, and we did that. So that's helped us in a long way. The third important thing is, I think as organizations, you need to create a safety net for your employees to make mistakes. It's okay if they make mistakes. Learn from them and move on, rather than creating an organization where you keep putting them down if they are taking any risks. So the most important thing is when you are sort of growing the organization, you need to have that mindset, growth mindset, and have that passion to make sure that you innovate and you go ahead and take your own decisions and do things. It's okay to fail, but then at least you do not clamp their wings. You create more passionate engineers or developers or employees in that sense who will help you to go further. While doing all of that, or all of this, a lot of times we've seen that somebody was talking about having distributed systems with distributed data. That's a typical challenge that we are going through right now. We do not have a single source of truth for anything. So the first thing that we did was incorporated HRMS system so that your employee database is there and the entire life cycle is there on the tool. The second thing that we realized that because we are a services organization, everything is to do with people. People are our assets, and it is extremely important for us to understand who's doing what kind of skills we have, what kind of demography we have, who's allocated on which projects, and so on and so forth. So the governance aspect there was absolutely needed, is absolutely needed. So for us in our growth journey, the next thing that we are actually working towards is how do we ensure that we across the board have standardized processes and practices. And for that, we need to have systems in place to make sure that we provide real-time data to our managers to take the decisions, or to make sure that they understand that they are going in the right direction, whether the projects are going fine or we have any red flags there, and so on and so forth. So that's where this thing Whizible came in, and basically we needed to have a platform which is an integrated one, which right from the time we sign the SOW till the time we do deliver the project. The entire process needs to be automated and digitized, and so that we have a single source of truth for everything, and have the data ready for making decisions at the right time. Yeah, so that's why we are here, and we've started working with Whizible just 15 days back, 20 days back, but the rate at which you're working is phenomenal, and I'm sure that we will go live in a month's time. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for those insights. Some of them really. I think Vishwas, the way you started with values and then amazing discussion. I think we are headed in the right direction. We are headed in the right. It's a long road, but I think we are headed in the right direction, and we will be there one day. We are very sure.
Just one more additional thing I would want to say, and it just hit me as as a parent. So obviously we had to work from home during pandemic, right? So a lot of times Forte kept coming in the conversations. So very recently, one of my sister, younger one, she's in an organization. Obviously, I'm not going to name the organization, but she's not having a very good experience. Like the managers is bullying her, and the overall experience has not been good at all. So I have a 9th standard daughter. So she just quickly, she just said, oh, looks like their company doesn't have Forte.
Oh.
Wow, that was like amazing. So you see the values really play a very, very strong role in the entire journey.
And that's so interesting that it can be passed from generation to generation of employees as well, right? And it's the job of the senior employees to make sure that they are passing the right values to the newcomers and everyone. That's an amazing insight. Our next panelist is going to be Ashwini Danigon, and can we get a photo on the screen, and are we live there? So Ashwini is the founder and CEO of Manorama Infotech Solutions. She is a successful global entrepreneur and tech innovator working on innovations in healthcare information technology. Very important to know is the whole setup is in Kolhapur with more than 200 people and is growing at a very fast rate. I am sure she has broken the myth that success is possible only in metro and tier cities. So that has been a great achievement. She has been conceptualizing, architecting and delivering world-class healthcare solutions for 17 years now. With master's degree in healthcare, computer science and a degree in law, this enables her in adopting a unique 360-degree command of data science and covering domain. Unfortunately, Ashwini is having some network issues that she has to rush back to Mumbai. We wanted to have Chandrasekhar K, CIO, BFIL, Bharat Financial Inclusive Limited, serve on the panel. But because of certain, I think we are late in going to serve because they have some internal